Welcome to the Empowered Podcast with Deanna Merlino, an all-encompassing personal development show where I will be sharing with you just how to transform yourself into the best version of you, both inside and out. From wellness, entrepreneurship, spirituality, and manifestation, I'll be showing you exactly how to live your best life. I will be keeping it as real and raw as it gets. So get ready to peel back the layers and really transform yourself under the surface. Because nothing is better than finding your purpose and living this life as your true, authentic self. You've been hearing me talk about my new spiritual life coaching program. So by now, you know if you are ready to jump into something like this, but now it's time to make it happen. I'm running a special deal, and if you want to hear more, then it's time for you to reach out to me. You can check me out on my page, The Empowered Coach 333, and DM me for more information to get you ready to step into your higher self and your next level today. Welcome back, Empowered fam. So I really wanted, first of all, happy Halloween. I wanted to do like a fun episode where I piece together some people and do some spooky stories for you today, but I felt more called to do this instead. So I'm going to kind of loop back to an episode that I did, I think 2 ago, and I really brought up my trauma story and some healing for myself that I was hoping would lead to healing for you guys. And it has been bringing up nonstop for me. And because I know that this is how the process goes, I felt that it was really important for me to come back to this and share something that I've learned with you guys. So you're not feeling like you're lost out in the middle of the ocean by yourself when you start your healing process, if this is something new for you guys. And so here's the thing. Healing never stops. So when you heal one thing, it's going to always lead to the next thing. When you uncover one memory or one trauma and you get down to the root of one issue and you think you've healed it, you might get a moment for a breath of fresh air, or you might not, but you're not going to be far behind before you're jumping into that next thing that you need to heal, that next lesson that you need to have. Every time we level up, we experience a next level of healing. So this growth process is never going to stop. And it's going to be hard. It's going to be painful. It's going to bring up grief, but it is so necessary. And it's the only way for you to truly achieve everything that you're meant to and everything that you deserve to in this life. So even though it's hard to face the dark things and the hard things and the scary things and the painful things, you just have to do it. And I just had this conversation last night with a friend. Actually, you see so many people who go through life angry and hurting others and consistently in this pattern of bad thing after bad thing after bad thing happening. And they live in this woe is me, and they just live in this I'm hurt, so I'm going to hurt you cycle. And here's the thing, because most people don't have the tools. Most people aren't equipped. Most people aren't guided. Most people aren't helped through this process. And because it is painful and because it's so difficult, they just don't do it. So we're walking through life projecting our crap onto others, and that's not the way to live. And so the more that we heal, the more we allow others to heal, the more we can reach back and help the next person heal. That's how we're going to heal the world. And so here's the thing. I wanted to bring up some realizations that I had after my last episode with you guys on my trauma story. And if you haven't listened to that, trigger warning again, I guess trigger warning for this as well. And I recommend that you do, because this opens the next step for you as it opens the next step for me. So here's the thing, because I realized this actually came up for me when I was on a business retreat at my network marketing company. It just kind of came to me one night. I was thinking about how I work so hard. Like I am always juggling 100 plates, and my husband gets mad at me because he's like, can you just like set a couple down and focus on one thing? And I'm just like not wired that way. And I do want to be better at that. So I forced myself to look at it like, why am I that way? Why do I feel like I have to do all the things all the time, all at once? Because I do everything as hard and as fast as I can all at one time with all the things. And what I realized is because So going back to that, to my childhood, where I felt like my dad wasn't around as much, or I felt like he wasn't giving me the love and attention that I craved as a child because he was out working. He was out doing what he needed to do for our family because that's what you do as parents. And again, I didn't know how properly you process that. I didn't understand how the world worked, right? Not yet, anyhow. And so because he wasn't around, I felt I wasn't worthy. And because I felt I wasn't worthy for attention, because this is a core necessity as a human being, it's a survival, like a need for survival. I need to be accepted. I need to be loved. I need to be paid attention to. I need to feel wanted. We don't know these things as a kid, right? But that's what's happening. So when that you feel like that's not happening, you learn to do things in order to get that attention. So what I did was I worked really hard in school. I got really good grades. I saw my parents working really hard. So I'm like, I'm going to work hard too. I was helping them run their business from time I was a little girl. I've always been hands-on in my parents' business. I started working super young. And what I learned from that, or what I picked up, that limiting belief that I picked up from that, is that I am only worthy if I work extremely hard. I am only worthy if I get the good grades. I am only worthy if I win this track meet. And the list goes on and on and on. And I'm sure that some of you guys can relate to that. And so it just kind of clicked for me that I feel like I'm only worthy if I'm working really hard. And I feel like if I'm not working hard, if I sit down and I relax, if I chill out, that somehow I am not proving my worth. And if I don't prove my worth, then I feel like I am literally going to die. Like that's what my primal brain's saying, right? That's our ego that's trying to keep us quote unquote safe. But I don't need that anymore. And I was having this conversation with Brittany, my retreat partner, and the exact words that I came up with is that I have all this time have been using a survival coping mechanism. And I'm to the point and the level where I need to shift into a thriving coping mechanism. And so me being aware of this now is going to be a game changer for me. And I'm going to be able to get a breath of fresh air and find balance and really give my attention to the things that need my attention first and are most important. Always my family, always my husband, always my child, and whatever project that needs me right now. Whatever person needs me right now. And I need to be very mindful of that as well, because what I also realized what I was doing is that because I'm so busy trying to prove my worth to the people that I love and the people around me, is that I forget to take care of myself. And we all know this, you cannot pour from an empty cup. I have learned that I need to take more time for myself. I need to take more time for self-care. And it's easy to say that, it's harder to do it. But I now realize how important it is and how detrimental it is for myself, my health, my well-being, and my next level of success. Because I know, and as I've shared before, and I'll repeat it again, is that things come up for you when they are ready to be faced by your body, by your brain. Whenever it is time for you to face something to get to that next level, it's going to come up for you and you're capable of processing and walking through it. So here's the next thing that I want to talk about today. And it keeps coming up. I've been seeing it. Kaylee Daniel, who's been a guest on the show, she just did an episode on her podcast about integration. And then I just kept seeing it pop up by coaches that I have, and how important it is to integrate. And so this is the main reason why I wanted to talk about this today, is that lessons start to come up and healing starts to happen really fast once you have really dove into this process. But it's very easy. I've definitely done it before too. It's very easy for you to be like, okay, heard that lesson, moving on, what's next? You kind of get into this mentality of, I want to go faster. I want to, get to the next thing. And you think you got the lesson, but if you don't take the time to integrate what it is that you are supposed to learn from that lesson, you're not actually learning it. And the lesson is going to keep repeating because you didn't actually get it and you didn't actually heal. Becoming aware is only part of the process. So you need to make sure that you sit in the grief, you sit in the hurt, you sit in the sadness, you sit in the things that you need to do for a moment. All emotions are valid, every one of them. Yes, there are high vibe emotions and low vibe emotions, but they're all valid and they're all key to us in this human experience. And they are all equally important in the right situation. And in these situations, it's so important to feel them, because if you don't feel them, they're just going to store back in your body and go back to harming you. Every single thing is energy. Emotions are nothing but energy. And when you don't process them and allow them, give them the respect and honor them and feel through them and get them out, then that energy is going to stay inside of you and it's going to lead to dis-ease or disease, right? Your body is not at ease, dis-ease. It's going to lead to anger, frustration, agitation, projection onto others, all the things. So make sure that every time you heal and every time you get a lesson, that you allow yourself the space, you hold the space for yourself to feel through whatever you need to feel through and process it and really take in that lesson so that you truly can move on to the next one and move on to the next level and the next phase. Every time we level up emotionally, spiritually, on these levels, that's when success comes in the external form. So internal first, external after. And the more you're able to do this and the more you process, the faster you're going to be able to manifest and bring to fruition the things that you actually want. So, I want to ask you guys at the end of today's episode, what is it that you need to process and what is it that you need to integrate? So if you are ready and you are feeling called to start healing deeper, I recommend that you make a list of all of your traits that you don't find ideal. Don't judge yourself. Do this with grace. We're doing this to improve them. So maybe you're easily angered. Maybe you work too hard. Maybe you lack self-love. Maybe you have trust issues. Maybe you push people away and refuse to let them in close. Like, truly take some time to yourself in quiet when you're ready and feel like you can process and face these things. And pick the one that feels most important for you to face first, or maybe even the easiest for you to face first. Look at it and say that's anger. Really sit in, maybe meditate first. I have the episode on my podcast that's called the Heart Opening Meditation. Really recommend listening to that to get into that headspace and that heart space to be able to do this properly. And look at, why do I get so angry, or whatever it is, just fill in the blank. Why do I get so angry? Where did that come from? And start tracking back as far as you can, or to where it feels accurate for you, and see where it stems from. And it's going to be difficult, but when you do that and get to the bottom of it, you're going to be able to see why you are the way you are, why you've been processing the way you are, why you have the limiting beliefs that you do. See where your weak spots are, your blind spots, and then give yourself time to sit with it and integrate it. Feel the emotions, feel the sadness, feel the anger, feel the grief. Do whatever you need to do to process it, accept it, and then move forward. And do that as many times as you need to, because sometimes it's not a one-step process. Or maybe you're only supposed to take one layer off right now, kind of like an onion, peel one layer at a time. But I promise you, this is going to be a game changer for yourself, your happiness, your vitality, your life, your success, your income, your relationships, all the things. So do this and let me know how it goes for you guys. I'm sending you so much love and holding space for you as you navigate these difficult things and hurts, but I promise you it is for your greatest and highest good, as well as the
the entire world and the other people who are waiting on you to help them too. I love you guys so much. And I'm really excited because for the next month, starting in November, I'm going to do a series all on manifesting. So I will see you guys right back here next week, giving you some tips and tricks to really start manifesting as we start going into 2023. Isn't this crazy? Where did the year go? All right, guys, I love you so much. Have the best day, the best week, and I'll see you next week.
Thank you guys so much for listening to today's episode. If you want to find out more, you can follow me on Instagram at Empowered with Deanna and my personal page, Fit Deanna Lolita. You can also visit me on my website, which is deannamerlinofit.com. Make sure that whatever platform you guys are listening on, please rate and subscribe. And this means so much to me. It's going to help get me out there to help so many other people. I'm so grateful that you're here with me on this journey of wellness and self-empowerment. I cannot promise that it will always be easy, but I do know that it will always be worth it. Stick with me, and together, let's start living as the version of us that we were meant to be. Because the world is waiting for your gifts, and you deserve to live the life of your wildest dreams and beyond. So friends, let's get empowered.